Hey, what's up YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. It's April 1st and I'm driving through Wyoming. And I can't see a thing. So I figured that's a good time to make a video. There's basically nobody on the road anyways, and even less now. Excuse me. So I've been thinking about this and thinking about this like everybody has. And my first thing is, it's amazing how I have no fear. I know what the outcome of this is going to be, for me at least. And I have no fear. It's all good. So I'm glad about that. But I pray a lot, because prayer is important. Prayer is incredibly powerful, and not enough people engage in it. And believe that the prayer is going to make it to God's ear. Do you see what I mean? When you pray, pray to the Father through the Son, and with all your might, believe that He's going to hear your prayer. That's all I can say. But you know what gets me? Where I'm driving right now, I've gone about 200 miles just to go to a small town to look around, see if there's any National Guard, see what the people think, see what stores are open, looking around. So I am. And I'm listening to videos that I downloaded so that even if I have no internet, like I don't right now, I can still kind of listen to them. And I was listening to the Oklahoma City bombing. And it's amazing. Oklahoma City, Sandy Hook, 9/11, the Vegas shooting, all the shootings. I mean, don't you think it's really strange that now that the coronavirus is here, there's no more terrorist attacks, there's no more mass shootings? Because the people that perpetrate all those things are busy doing something else right now. So there's no need for that anymore. They just went full retard on this.
Everybody knows you never go full retard.
And it's funny because Bill Gates is on the cover of the newspaper. We need a complete and total lockdown. Who are you, computer guy? Most people don't even know that Bill Gates and his wife love to vaccinate people. That's all they care about. And then if they do know that, many more don't realize that Bill Gates comes from a long line of eugenicists. People that believe certain people are just born and don't deserve to be here. You know what I mean? Look up eugenicists. That's Bill Gates and his wife. That's what they do. That's their thing. Really? You're from Wyoming and you're going to drive 40 because it's snowing out, lady? Or dude? I mean, really? I'm on a road with nobody and I catch up to one person. Unreal. Let me pull over for a minute. At any rate, these guys figured out that they could pull this off. It's called fourth generation warfare. And I just read all about it last night and this morning. A friend of mine who used to be in one of the battalions that Governor Abbott in Texas just activated, 1st Infantry, or whatever the platoon, one of the infantry brigades, you know, soldiers, foot soldiers, period. He sent me all this information, and these guys have been working on this for a long time, and it's literally taking over a country without even firing a shot. Well, they just did that. They just did that. And like the president, Donald Trump, the actor, billionaire Donald Trump, drained the swamp, put Hillary in jail. He's one of us somehow. I never understood that, but whatever. Just like he said, the next 2 weeks are going to be the hardest. Even though every single day, including in the mainstream, in actual watchdog groups, they're finding out that all these claims of dead people are fraudulent. They were people that had 1 to 3 other life-threatening illnesses already. And then they died, they said COVID-19. COVID-19. See what I mean? The mainstream's using pictures. Look at all these coffins in Italy. Well, it turns out the picture is exactly from 3 years ago from a shipwreck or something. I mean, are you kidding me? So many people dying from this, they're literally faking it. That should tell you everything right there. This is a complete and total fraud. But what isn't a complete and total fraud is Bill Gates and Donald Trump. Bill Gates wants the entire country shut down. Really, you're going to make me pass in this? And Donald Trump says the next 2 weeks are going to be the worst. Excellent. Excellent. That's all the warning you'll get from these people. So take it for what it's worth. They're not going to come out and tell you, listen, people are starting to catch on to this, so we're going to have to step it up a little. I find it strange that suddenly Yellowstone National Park has been closed and there's a massive quake there yesterday or the day before. Expect them to use the weather. It's been raining in the middle of the United States for the entire time I've been on the road, which is about 6 weeks. Raining to the point of saturation. If your area floods, they're going to flood your area. If you get quakes, you're going to get quakes, etc., etc. I mean, it's April 1st and it's snowing so bad I can barely see here. It is what it is. They're going to use everything at their disposal. And they're going to start juking the stats like you read about. Like you read about. Every person I've talked to literally don't know anybody. Literally. Or they know a town official or a policeman who was in contact with somebody or something to that effect. But this is a pandemic. This is a worldwide pandemic that literally did an unprecedented thing. It closed down the entire world. This has never happened. Half of the United States is sitting in their house hiding from an invisible enemy, as Donald Trump called it, staring at their television, not realizing that the television, simply by non-stop suggestion, is going to make you sick. That's good enough. That'll work. Extending everything another 30 days, that's what they're going to keep doing. I told you that, and they do. That's what they're doing. April 4th in Massachusetts. Oops, we meant May 4th. June 10th in Virginia. I mean, it doesn't even make sense. And the reason they keep extending the go back to work, go back to business deadlines is because they want to run this right into spring or mosquito season, where they can suddenly tell you that mosquitoes are spreading COVID-19 on an epidemic level. Remember Zika, when they were flying over people's rooftops and driving down the street, blowing all sorts of insecticides or whatever it is in their face?
Equipped with blowers are driving through South Beach, spraying pesticides that kill mosquito larvae. Right now, Miami-Dade County Mosquito Control is now driving Buffalo turbine trucks, as they're called, through the square mile infection zone. The trucks will continue targeting mosquito breeding areas for about a month.
That will be here. Mark my words. Mark my words. They're going to roll this right into mosquito season. Without a doubt. Because an illness can only be spread by injection or swapping bodily fluids. Mosquitoes. And what do they spend all their time doing? Genetically modifying mosquitoes. What does DARPA spend all your money doing? Making robots that look and act exactly like insects. Because it's small, it's a good design, and it can inject. Yep, there's your number one answer right there. Once you start seeing it for what it is, you can actually kind of figure it out. It's not all that difficult. But they will use weather as a weapon. Do not forget that. Tornadoes, they can conjure those up. Ask Dutch Sense. He watched them conjuring tornadoes and predicted there would be deaths. 2 days later, Joplin happened. And he got attacked by every mainstream and every troll there was. So they're going to go all out. And for all those people that keep asking about Space Force being launched, it's kind of a strange time. The world is shut down, but they're launching space missions and whatnot. It's strange that they launched that and suddenly there's a meteor that strikes in Africa. But if you look at any of it, like lots of people have, it looks exactly like a missile strike. And speaking of that, Mike Decker and I actually videotaped what is called SpaceX's Starlink going directly over his house. P900, P1000. Neither one of us could actually focus very well, but we still caught video. Yeah, dude. These guys are riding side by side. These guys are, this is a wingman, and they're lighting up. Holy shit. There's another one. You got him? Dude, that's like 40, and he's lighting up. Look at what they call, look at what the description of Starlink is. It's thousands of satellites working in conjunction to give you internet. The only problem with that is it's constantly moving. So what, do you have internet for a half an hour and then a day later you have internet again? You know what I mean? But then look at Geostorm and listen to exactly what they said.
The Senate committee will now hear from Jacob Lawson, Climate ISS Chief Coordinator. May the record reflect that he was nearly 1 hour late.
Yeah, sorry about that. I literally had to fly in from outer space.
Thanks to a system of satellites, natural disasters have become a thing of the past.
Do exactly what they said. Scientists from all over the world united, and they saved us by building a system with thousands of satellites that could shoot missiles and such down. What are the odds in a million years I happen to walk outside and look straight up at the Starlink and had Mike come outside and we both tried to videotape? Because that's what happened. And normally at that time, I'm not looking up. It was cold up. I didn't, you know what I'm saying? I just happened to look straight up, and then I saw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like around 50 of them. And the problem is Starlink shows them as all lined up. Some of these guys were riding side by side. So beware. They're going to pull out all the stops. Lots of people are saying they're not getting chemtrailed in their area. Oh. I've been to places where they weren't chemtrailing at all, and then they showed up the next day and just obliterated it. They're busy right now. They got big things going on. So no chemtrailing, no mass shootings, no terrorist attacks, no wars, no rumors of wars. Everyone's afraid of getting a cold, because that's what it is. It's a mild cold. And you know who said that? Trump's medical advisor, Dr. Anthony Fauci. He wrote it in the New England Journal of Medicine, March 26, 2020. But why read that when you can just watch the mainstream and hear him tell you it's going to curve and flip and doodly dip? You know what I'm saying? It's a television show. Remember when this thing first broke out and they said it was going to spread through the eyes? Well, it is. They're using all social media against you, and you watch it with your eyes. They have most Americans sitting in their houses trembling about this invisible enemy. Meanwhile, they're watching television, social media, and they're getting bombarded with COVID-19. That's called fourth generation warfare. I'll show you what I'm talking about. At any rate, all over the world, they're going into hospitals all over the world and videotaping them. They're empty. They're empty. And yet we need ships on either coast for the overflow. It's ridiculous, man. You even had that guy that videotaped in New York City who still thinks the Democrats did this. That's how asleep he is, but he's still awake enough to understand the hospital ain't full of people. Yet a military ship just pulled in? Yeah. Yeah. They knew that with Sandy Hook, Boston Marathon, 9/11, all the architects, engineers, policemen, firemen, all the people that whistle blew in the beginning and then suddenly died, they knew that the people didn't listen to their community. They listened to the politicians and the media. That's how they knew they could pull this off. But don't be fooled. It's going to get worse. Trump told you. Next 2 weeks is going to be the worst. Well, don't be surprised when the worst shows up. When you can't show people that they're literally blocking out the sun with airplanes and spray, and then they come out in 2017 and say, yeah, we're going to block the sun to save everyone from global warming. When they pulled that ruse on everyone, they knew they could pull this off, and they are. There's just a few troublemakers that are going to have to be re-educated, and that's all there is to it. But you know what? Somebody's got to say something. You got to say something. You can't just go quietly into the night, and that's what so many are doing. It's the same reason why people saw things for what they were but didn't want to do anything. Somebody else will deal with it, or the government had their reasons. The government is a group of people that have always been wealthy, they've always been in politics, they've always been in the system, and they've always been against you. They want this whole place for themselves. And that's what they're doing right now. This makes zero sense. Last year, at this time, more people died from the flu. Do you know why? Because 13 million people-ish die every day on Earth. And then 12 to 15 million people-ish are born every day on Earth. It's called life. Them shutting down the entire world and America basically bowing down and doing it, that's going to have consequences. And they're coming soon. So pray. Pray a lot to the Father, through the Son, and when you pray, believe with all your heart that God is listening to you, because He is. It's not hard to do. If you don't know a prayer, just say the Our Father prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For thy is the kingdom, the power, the glory forever. In Jesus' holy name I pray.